Hello there, folks. Hey, this is Joe Wazoo here. Hey, today we're going to be making a little video with the MotorSaver 777-P2 device. Got this from a customer, and they want to try out, see if we can do Modbus RTU or 45 comms to it. So this is the device I got from them. It's the 777-P2, and on the unit I got from them, it has a module on the side that does RS-45 comms out of it. Let us talk to it. This product's pretty interesting. It's some different prices of it here. It's some kind of a motor saver thing. You can run your three-phase wire through it and put an external relay and trip the motor if it exceeds some current and so forth. I'm not completely familiar with how this thing works, but it's not my product. But today I'm just trying to test out some Modbus comms to it. Now this thing is interesting in the fact that it runs off of 240 volt AC. So at my place, I've got a welder in the garage with the 240 AC outlet. Also got the dryer here at my house, oddly enough. I could use that outlet as well. So I thought about buying a cable and running that in, but that'd be a lot of work. So instead, what I did here, team, is I bought a little device off of Amazon. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Oops. And it's this guy right here. Well, is it not going to pop up here? That guy. Okay, so this is what I bought right here. It's a little 120 to 240 volt AC wall wart step up transformer, and I got it for like 20 bucks. No big deal. But it's interesting. It's got a switch on the back, and you can put it in 120 mode, and that means it'll put 240 volt out, or you could have 240 in and 120 volt out. It's kind of a step up or step down transformer. Puts out 100 or 70 watts in this case. This thing only takes 10 watts to run. Plenty of power, 20 bucks, a little bit safer to use. So that's what I'm using. And what I've done here, see if I can get my camera to show up. Here's that little device right there. That's where it is. On the back, I got the switch set to 120. And then I and on this unit right here, I've got the L1 and L2 connectors right here connected to a power cable. Look, I put a label in there. So that's going to go into here. Plug it into that guy right there like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and plug it in the wall. So let me go ahead and put this so you can see it here. Get that in my camera right there. And let me get some power. Oh, I need a longer cable here. Well, let's try this guy over here. Okay. Let's plug this guy in right here. Perfect. So there you see I powered it up. And I got some stuff on the screen right there as such. Now it's got this little yellow switch on it here. And you can move that to different places depending on what you want to see. So if I move it right there, the top position, get my camera, it says A21 on their team. That means that it's currently address 21 on Modbus. And if I move it one more over here, you can see it says C4 on the screen, C4. Let me find the manual and I'll show you what that means. All right, so here in the manual for this thing, the Modbus programming guide and DeviceNet, apparently has a DeviceNet card you can buy for it too. But anyway, if I go into here, this shows a little different picture, but it's all the same device. And it's actually made by a company called Syscom that was out of South Dakota, ironically. And then Littlefuse bought this company. They bought this company, Littlefuse did. And they moved all their manufacturing to a place called Mexico. And I called their company for some tech support, got a guy up in South Dakota, and he's one of the last few left in there, but he said they moved all their production to a place called Mexico. Fantastic. No, it's not. Anyway, if I keep going down here, page 10 in this document, let's see if we get there. Page 10. All right, so here we go. Page 10 talks about the communication parameters. And I've got this set up for in the C4 mode. You can see, let me turn the switch here. You can see it says C4, so it's in 1900 baud, no parity, one stop bit. And I did this mode. You can also do C0, or no, C4 is correct. I did this because I'm matching this up to Banner wireless products. So that's how I got that set. So that's the communication settings. I'm using the expansion card on the side here, and I'm using, if you're familiar with my ModbusRTU mapping, I often will use a standard Ethernet cable, just a standard RJ45 cable here, and I always split off the orange and the orange white, and I'm plugging that into, ironically, we're going to take this to a RedLion HMI, and right now I got the program running. So if you can see here, the 485 port is blinking. If I plug the cable in, you can see now it's blinking fast. I don't know if my camera's picking it up, but it's blinking fast, and all the values on the screen are populated. So let me get that up and running here. Okay, so I'm using a RedLion HMI for my ModbusRTU master here, because that's what I'm using for testing. And in this database, I'm using a CR3K 4-inch. Any RedLion HMI with an RS45 port should work for you here. Over here on the RS45 COM port on this particular unit, I want you to see that I've got the driver picked as Universal Master under Modbus Universal Master. I'm using the protocol RTU. There's also an ASCII. We're going to use RTU here. I got the baud rate set to 1900, data bits 8, stop bits 1, none, RS45. That's what I got there. Then right below there, normally when you do this, you'll have the word PLC1 here. What I've went and did here is I set this up to be 21 as the drop number in this case. And I was playing with some of this mapping down here because the document says, talks about code 3 and so forth. I was playing around with this. This doesn't really matter. You can roll with the default settings, and everything else is default. Even the ping holy register, I'll leave at 1 here. So that's set there. Then if I go over to data tags, I was playing around with this, and I created some tags just to see what's going on. So I've got tag 1 is mapped to 40,001, and then I've got some other ones, software code, product code, and so forth. If I go back to the manual, which is what I have here, the documentation, I want you to see something. They got some examples in here, blah, 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 whatever. But as you go down in here further, you're going to find that it actually lists the different Modbus registers. What's ironic or interesting is the document starts at 40,002, does not declare what's happening at 40,001, which is weird. I called the factory to ask them, what does that register mean? And the guy at the factory had no idea. So that was sad. But anyway, so I went ahead and did the rest of these here, or some of them, just so we can kind of see what's happening. So I've got 40,002 is some software rev. 40,003 is the product code. So we're probably looking for a 1 there if we're a 77P2, which is what I have. And then, of course, there's some other numbers here. So back here at Crimson, if I go over here, here's that 40,001. I just called tag 1, software rev, product code, some mode, scale factor, and so forth. If I go over here to display pages, I was mapping a bunch of tags, but let me move this one to the top here, folks. We'll save it. Let's go ahead and download this to this guy. Now that I've downloaded it, if we go over here to our web server, let me see if I can get the web server to pull up here. I don't know why my computer's having problems today, but I cannot get the web browser to come up. How about that, folks? Well, I can, but I can't get the thing here to. That's fantastic. Let me see if I pause it here. Yeah, for some reason I paused the video recording and then I could switch to a web browser. So anyway, here it is, the web browser. There's the IP address of the unit. Go to remote view, and I want you to notice this is what I'm showing right now. It's live data coming across it. Here's that that 40,001 register. Keeps changing. I have no idea what it means, and the guy at the factory couldn't tell me. But here's the other numbers: 778 number, product code 1. Look at your product code 1. I go back to the documentation. Let's see here. Product code is right here is 1. That means it's a 777. Perfect. That's right on the money. So that's exactly what we want to see. Anyway, right now I got it talking directly to the RedLion unit. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to insert some Banner Wireless products between this and see if I can talk to this thing over Banner Wireless. So give me a second here. Okay, so folks, I got it wired back up, and what I've got going on now is I have the same RedLion HMI. You can see right here it's holding the values and the tags are showing up on the screen here. and I have it connected to a multi-hop radio. This is one of the multi-hop radios right here. It's wired directly into it. I think you can see it in the picture. It's right here, right next to it. You can see this little yellow light blinking just a little bit. That indicates comms between it and the HMI, and it's going out to the wireless radio, which I have another wireless radio somewhere else connected, and it is connected to the MotorSaver unit communicating. Now, I want to do something here. I want to show you, because I have all these things bound, that when I plug them in, it takes a little bit of time for the Banner wireless network to configure and start talking. So everything's bound, connected, but I'm going to cycle power, and I want you to see this. So let me see if I can make this full screen. Okay, I've got this full screen, and what I'm trying to do here is I want to show you the amount of time it takes for this thing to synchronize. Now, I don't know if you can make it out in the video. This LED right here is blinking pretty quickly, and you can see on the HMI screen that all the values are updating real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle power to this whole thing, and I want you to see what it takes here. So hold on here. All right, I've turned off everything on here. Let me go ahead and plug it back in. Okay, I'm powering it back up. I want you to watch this because it takes a little bit of time for the Banner wireless to synchronize uh, with the other radio and to let communications through. And then I'm going to make another add to this video the other end you can see here, but I want you to just watch this from this end because this is kind of important. We'll see how long this takes. Keep watching, folks. Don't lose me. Pay attention. Focus. Hey, look at there. Look at there. So it took us probably about 30 seconds to synchronize. I don't know why it's blinking there, but we can see that the LED now is blinking really fast right here. Doesn't show up in the video as well. And the red and green lights on the 45 port are blinking quickly. So this is at the master radio going out to the other one. I'm going to do the exact same procedure. I'm going to put this setup over where the slave radio is. Oh, you know what? I don't have an antenna on that because that could be the reason for the blinking once in a while. Anyway, I'm going to move that item over to here, and then I'm going to take this apparatus and move over there because I want you to see what happens at the node. So give me a second here. Okay, so now I've brought the other multi-op radio. This one I'm using the HB2, just the printed circuit version. It's printed circuit board version of this product. I want you to notice I have the white wire, which is the RS45 plus, is going from here into here, and then the black wire is RS45 minus, is going from here into here. This guy I think is set up. The river gals on here might be A20 or might be address 20 or something, or I don't know what I got here. 112. I think it's address 12. Doesn't really matter because this guy here is address 21 on the network. So what I want you to see this time, I'm going to plug this in. Of course, I don't have an antenna, but I'm going to plug this in. I want you to focus on this LED here. Watch what happens to the wireless network as the master radio, this guy jumps on there. It's already bound, but it's going to take a little bit of time to build the network. So watch this. Let me go ahead and plug in the power. So here we go. Whoops, if I get it right in here. Okay, there we go. Powered up. Let's see what happens. All right, the light comes up. First, it's in orange state. Sitting here in an orange state right here. Now it's solid red. My camera doesn't show it very well, but it's solid red. The master radio is, it's trying to jump on the network here. It's when it starts to blink fast. That's when comms actually starts. Okay, now it's a yellow color, kind of an orange color right now. I know the camera doesn't show it, but that's what it looks like. It's orange. Back to red, solid red. Okay, now we got a green. Now we got an orange blinky. And it's interesting, folks. The other thing's actually talking to it, but in this mode, now I don't have an antenna on here, but you can actually hear it clicking. So it's transmitting now to the other one, and the other HMI now has the data. So it's being pulled by the other multi-op radio. So that's that, and I'm going to make another video of this thing. I'm going to try to use a DXM to pull this as a master, but I just wanted to get this out there and share this with y'all. Hey, thanks a lot, folks. Have a great day. See you later.